up, reader fam? Today I'm bringing you my October book haul, and today's video is in partnership with Penguin Random House and Harlequin Teen. Also in partnership with my messy hair. I think this might actually be my last book haul of the year because I'm really trying to focus on reading what I have instead of obtaining more books. I know, quite the concept. A booktuber actually reading their books. Revolutionary. So this may or may not be my last book haul of the year. We'll see. Without further ado, let's get started. First up here I have the Booksplosion book of the month for the month of November, and that is Shadow of the Fox. I feel like every time I've talked about this book so far, I've given this really complicated description, but then I got my hands on this fancy dancy hardcover, and it's got this super simplified description. I went through so much pain and suffering trying to describe this book, and then I got my hands on this hardcover, and ever so nicely planted on the back of this book is this straight and to the point description. Where has this been my whole life? Okay, not my whole life, but where has this been every time I've tried to explain this book? My goodness. Thankfully, it's gonna make my life easier right now, though, as I tell you the description of this book, and I'm literally just gonna read it off the back of the book, so here we go. A fox shapeshifter sworn to hide a mysterious scroll. A secret assassin under orders to kill to obtain it. Hunted by demons, gods, and shadows, their wary bond may break them, or alter the course of the world. Shook, shook, shook. Simple, to the point, brilliant. I prefer descriptions like this anyway, where it doesn't give too much away, but it gives you enough to where your interest is piqued. I have started this book already, and so far so good. So far it's holding itself up as a steady and confident fantasy story, and I'm looking forward to seeing where things end up. I feel like the atmosphere alone has been what's really pulling me in with this book. Because it takes place in this rather dark and gritty world, it's almost as if the story takes place beneath a shadow. A shadow of a fox, maybe? That was a failed attempt at a pun. I need to not. But either way, this is the Booksplosion book of the month for the month of November, so if it sounds interesting to you, then you should totally pick it up and join us. If you don't know what I'm talking about in regards to Booksplosion, it's a monthly live show that I have with Christine from Poland Bananas Books and Kat from Catty-tastic. Each month we pick a book and then we discuss it in full at the end of the month. It's dope, it's the best, you should join us. Speaking of Booksplosion, our December pick of the month is SKYWARD by Brandon Sanderson. This book is a literal brick. One of these days I'll be able to build a house using Brandon Sanderson's books. Because with each book they get bigger and bigger, and I mean, I'm not complaining, the bigger the book the better. But also, how does he write so many long books? He's a master of writing hecka huge books. I'm super excited for this one, mostly because it's a Sanderson book and I haven't read a book by him in a very, very, very long time. In fact, now that I think about it, I've only read one book by Brandon Sanderson. I feel like I always make it seem like I've read so many of his books. Yeah, I've only read one book by him, and that's the first book in the Mistborn trilogy. I'm a mess and I really need to get caught up with his books. This story follows a girl named Spensa, which I believe this is Spensa right here on the cover. Yo girl, what's up? And her world has been under attack for decades. That's a long time to be under attack. Can the people coming at them just let them have a year off? Anyway, Spensa has always wanted to be a pilot because in this world, pilots are considered heroes. They help keep what's left of the human race alive. It's definitely not going to be easy for Spensa to become a pilot though, and that's because of a situation that happened with her father. Her father was a pilot and he's seen as a coward. This being because at some point in him being a pilot, he abandoned his crew and was killed off. So people hold this over Spensa and use it against her. We follow her struggle in getting into flight school, and we see her start to unfold this mystery of something that she discovered in a cavern. Solving this mystery might help her in reaching for her dreams. Like I said, this is our Booksplosion book of the month for the month of December, so if it sounds interesting to you, then definitely pick it up and join us in the month of December. It'll be sky-mazing. I need to stop with the puns. They're not happening today. Next up here, I have the second book in the Otherworld series, and that is OTHEREARTH. That is backwards. OTHEREARTH. I just gotta point out the fact that I'm digging the black aesthetic on this book. It's so nice. This series takes place in this virtual reality world. We follow our main character Simon, who followed his best friend Kat into this virtual reality world, and they found that in this world there is some pretty sketchy business happening. These patients within the world are being forced to test this VR system that tests all 5 of their senses, which would be fine and all if the patients, 1, were giving their consent, or 2, if it wasn't deadly. Yikes. I feel like I've developed this weird fear of getting stuck into a virtual reality world. I don't know why exactly, but the whole VR experience where you put on the goggles and you play games makes me feel claustrophobic. For some reason, I've developed this fear that if I put on the goggles, I'll be stuck in the game. I have no idea how this fear developed. So Simon and Kat are basically teaming up to go up against this company who is behind the testing of this system. And things are about to get messy. I mean, things were already pretty messy in book 1, but they're gonna be even more messy in book 2. Book 1 was like level 1 messy, book 2 is like level 2 messy, which means that it'll just be that much more fun to read about. I don't think I'll ever get tired of this virtual reality setting. It's one that I think I'll always be down for. Next up, I have here An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I actually went to one of Hank's book tour stops in Kansas City, and it was so much fun. It was one of the best author events I've ever been to, and I've been to quite a few. It was more than just an author event. I feel like it was like an author experience. Also, Hank Green shouted me out on stage, and I'm still deceased over it.
Is Jesse, are you Jesse the reader, the booktuber? Hi. Follow Jesse. We're not doing crowd work. Yeah, Jesse the reader.
Long story short, my friend Maureen from Maureen Kiwi submitted a question for the Dear Hank and John segment and put my name on it and her name on it, and bam, Hank shouted me out. I actually hyperventilated a little bit because I'm a messy fanboy, and all the books at the event were pre-signed. This book is about these strange robot creatures that start appearing all around the world, and we follow a girl who has a video go viral surrounding these robots. So not only is it a story about getting to the bottom of what these robot-like creatures are, but it's also about the world of social media and how it can affect us positively and negatively, which is a topic that I'm really interested in because I've definitely felt the highs and lows of social media this year, and I have already read this book and I really liked seeing that topic being explored. I was actually taken aback by how much I enjoyed this book because for some reason I went into it really skeptical, and maybe that's for the best. Maybe that's why I ended up really enjoying it. But I'll share more of my thoughts on this book soon in an upcoming books I've read recently, so look out for that. Next up, I got here a finished copy of Bridge of Clay by MARKUS ZUSAK, one of my most anticipated reads of the year, and I still haven't read it. I'm a failure. First up, I just gotta say that this book kills it visually. Like, it is stunning. I love it when they go the extra effort and put something on the actual hardback. It just makes my heart so happy. It's the little things that make a reader's heart flutter. I ended up buying this book pre-signed. I was planning on going to one of his events that was taking place in St. Louis, but your boy wasn't able to make it, and I'm still super upset about it because I don't know when I'll ever get the chance to meet MARKUS ZUSAK, and I might have just missed my chance. If you didn't know, MARKUS ZUSAK is responsible for one of my all-time favorite books, and that is The Book Thief, and he doesn't put out books very often, so I'll be sure to savor this one. Though he does have other books that I haven't read yet, so I need to go back and look at some of his backlist titles. This story follows these brothers who have planted themselves in this life where they have no guidance. Long ago, their father turned their back on them and walked away, and one day, he just shows up again. I believe we follow our main character Clay, who is trying to build a bridge between his brothers and their father. And it's a story of them trying to mend this broken relationship. I could be so off on that because every time I read the description of this book, I get even more confused about it. It could be a story of them literally building a bridge of clay. I don't know. But hopefully I'm not off with the description here and I gave you a good idea as to what this book is about. I found The Book Thief to be a rather emotional read, and I'm really interested to see what kind of tone he goes with for this story. Like, is it going to be a lighter tone or is it going to still be darker? I'm really interested in finding out. Next up, I have here A Very Large Expanse of Sea by TAHEREH MAFI. I've already read this book and I loved it. I've got a review coming soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And let me just say, this book reached favorite book status. It was so freaking good! It follows this Muslim girl named Shireen who is living in America after 9/11, and so she's having to deal with extreme racism on a daily basis. Her escape from this hurtful world is found in breakdancing and this boy she meets named Ocean. I highly recommend checking this book out. It really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and I highly recommend it. Next up, I have here a book that I'm not gonna throw in the air because it's massive and I might hurt myself if I drop it on myself, so I'm just gonna lift it up, and that is Kingdom of Ashe by Sarah J. Maas, the final book in the Throne of Glass series. I'm sure you guys knew that this book was coming in this haul. Here it is. It's happening. I ended up getting the Barnes & Noble edition. I was going to get the Target edition, but I went to Target and they didn't have it, and I was like, excuse me? What? One of the biggest releases of the year and you don't have it? Anyway, the Barnes & Noble edition has the signature on the front like every edition has, I believe, and then it's also got this nifty poster on the inside, which is super cool. I honestly can't believe that this series is coming to a close. Like, it just doesn't feel real yet, even though I have this in my hand and I've even started it. I'm not very far in. I'm only like 70 pages in because I'm a slacker. It's just been such a long journey with these characters and it feels weird that it's finally coming to a close. And I'm honestly excited for the end. I know that I should probably be sad that it's coming to a close, but I feel like I'm ready for the ending with this series. I just hope that all my faves stay safe. That's my only hope. And the last book that I have to show you is beautiful, and that is this UK collector's edition of Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. One of my all-time favorite books. When I heard they were coming out with this collector's edition, your boy had to have it. Your boy was weak. Your boy gave in to the temptation. And I have no regrets because it's beautiful. And I'm super hecka happy to have this as a part of my collection now. So those are all the books that I've picked up recently. I also wanted to mention here at the end of this video that Booksplosion is going to be at YALLFest this year. If you don't know what YALLFest is, it's this awesome book festival that takes place in Charleston, South Carolina. It's one of my favorite events of the year. And the Booksplosion event is going to be at 3 p.m. at the American Theater Cinema. You're not going to want to miss it. We've got our event planned already and I'm super hecka excited about it. Also, I would just love to meet you. So if you're going to be there and you see me, holla at your boy because I want to meet you. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down below in the comments a book that you've picked up recently or just a book that you've read recently that you want to tell me about. Let me know down below in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos frequently on this channel, so if you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and click the little bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, chew!